In this video, I'm going to adjust my ramp angle and show and describe how it can affect skiing performance. Ramp angle is a measure of the height differential between your toe and heel. It's measured from the base of the ski to the contact point of the boot and the binding here and here.
You're watching Ski Dad TV.
So today we're going to make a video about ramp angle.
Sweet.
And so I put a shim on the heel of this one, so I'm way far forward.
Yep.
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't want to know what the numbers are.
Okay.
I took a warm-up run on these things and it was horrible.
With the shim?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because we're just going to start there. We're going to go too far forward.
Gas
and then we'll
pedal.
go to equal lift, and then we'll gas pedal, and then we'll gas pedal again. A gas pedal is when the toe is lifted higher than the heel, or there's more shims in the toe than there is in the heel.
A double gas pedal.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna go through that whole
On a
thing
slalom ski too.
and figure out why we're doing it, what we're doing,
Okay.
and what to feel and which setup is best.
Got it.
While shooting this video, I purposely didn't measure the ramp angles of each setup. I have since measured all the angles and will display them on the screen as toe drop. That's how much lower the toe is than the heel. I totally get it. Ramp angles should be displayed as a degrees. However, in skiing, things are weird. With the first setup with the heel up, there was too much tip in the ski.
Okay,
it was
yeah.
like coming back at me so hard.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, if I don't want that to happen, then I had to sit my hips back.
Yeah.
And then basically sit in the can.
Yep.
But it requires so much quad strength.
Totally.
It's just like, this is I can't wait till we're done with this.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying there is this right here. You can see how the tip is coming underneath. It's squashing me and I'm having to sit my hips way back in order to control the spring that's coming out of the bottom of the turn. Doing one.
I do food service.
This video is meant to show you how to interpret the results of changing ramp angle. Any binding changes should be made under the supervision of a professional. I am using these shim kits that are produced by Marker and can be bought from Marker on their website. Any changes you do to your equipment, you're doing at your own risk. So it looks like I have the same screws for all the lifters, which means that the set of skis I took this off wasn't properly set up. So I'm just gonna go into the danger zone for the sake of science. When you're adding these shims under your bindings, it's extremely important to make sure you're changing the lengths of the screws as well. Most of the time you wanna have at least 4 threads of screw coming through underneath that shim when you get the binding sitting on top of it. That way it can thread all the way down into the plate you're in. Boom, boom, this guy goes in. Yeah. If you don't change your screws and only get 2 or 3 threads down into the plate, you can rip a binding off of a plate. It's extremely dangerous. Again, any binding adjustments should be done under the supervision of a professional. All right, how we're gonna do the other side. So now I have 2 mils of lift here and 2 mils of lift here. I'm effectively even with the factory setup. If you're annoyed because it's blurry at the top of these scenes, that's because I'm filming all this just on a regular cell phone. Thank you, Max, for that. And if you want to see better quality footage for me, then please consider a donation to the channel. Now let's match up the two up top. Over here, you can see that that tip is really bending tight under my knee. See how close my knee is to the tip? And boom, that hooks and really drives up under me. So I have to squat down lower. You can see I got a little more extension on this side because that ski's not ripping so hard across the hill. Down bottom, okay, over here is with the negative 5.5 ramp angle. Watch how much squat I have to do over here to control that ski, or hold on to that rebound. Here you can see not that much squat over here. Look at how much squat because it's throwing me in the back seat. Now here you can see it ready. It's still popping me up. I still am getting more bite out of the tip of the ski than I really want, but I'm not getting squatted so low through that transition. See it here, really having to squat, keep my hips low. Over here, I'm getting a little more extension out of my outside leg. and finding a little bit easier to roll into the top of the turn. Now let's head back up the chairlift and see what I thought about it in real time. All right, so lower half. And right there, all through there's too much pop from the ski.
Yep.
And I like can't handle it. It's taking all I can do to do those turns, and the only thing I could do up top here was sit back more, and the more I sat back, the more strength it took from my legs, and it was terrible, and on my back and hurt. And then when I get up on it like that, it crushes up underneath me and it's collapsing. So if I was infinitely stronger, it's a ramp that might work.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Got it.
It's no good. So now we are running 1 shim in the heel and 2 2mm shims in the toe. Back up top, you can see, again, I'm getting a little more pace out of the ski because the ski's not biting so hard in front of me. I'm able to keep it moving downhill a little bit faster. Down bottom, I'm able to keep my hips a little bit higher. Compare the two up top. Okay, here's minus 3.5, here's minus 1.5. You see there's a little more extension out of the outside leg because that ski is not trying to hook and rip across in front of me quite so hard. Here we are down bottom. Already you can see a little more extension there. Here's a transition squatted. Here it's easier for me to get more pressure to the outside ski early with less ramp angle. You can see I'm really getting squatted here. The skis are kind of coming off the ground. Over here, okay, that one was a pop. You know, I mean, I'm just skiing as best as I can here. Here, okay, ready. There's less squat having to happen there, and because there's less squat happening, less compression through there, I'm able to get more pressure to the outside ski earlier over here. You can see it again right there. That was an easy, smooth transition for me. Because there was less pop out of the bottom of the turn, it was easier for me to flow in, get that earlier pressure. Whereas over here, I'm still dealing with a lot of bite from the tip through the completion, which makes it so that I can't get to the outside ski quite as early. Let's go back to the chairlift and see what I thought of this setup on that day. Here we go, going. Yeah, I mean, the stance feels way better. I was feeling up top on the pitch that I was getting like thrown forward, like I was having trouble keeping up with the ski, like right here. Like right there, the ski was shooting ahead of me up top. I was able to control it more down here.
But there.
And I mean, that's good. I feel like I'm more in control. I'm not being hindered by the ski anymore. And so now maybe it would be up to me to like train myself into a better position here. That statement right there where I say maybe I should work on my skiing and dial in that ramp angle is perhaps the most important thing I've said in this whole video. Sometimes people get too crazy with their ski setups and they end up messing with it too much. Think Henrik Kristofferson. And they forget to actually just get a setup and then dial their skiing in around that setup versus always just messing with the setup. So if you're a racer or just someone who's trying to work on your skiing, remember, it's the magician, not the wand. Work on your skiing more than changing your setup. Because it didn't quite feel perfectly right. And a little bit of that pop was kind of keeping me in control. So I think I'm at that point where like, I need to really dial it in to have the performance that more toe rise offers.
Okay, that makes sense.
So now we're going to drop the heel in order to raise the toe. Whoa! So you got to watch out for the brakes. Just taking this guy off. Find the same holes again. Now we'll do the other side. And now that we're done with that, you can see that I have 2 plates right here and 0 plates back here. So I am plus 4 millimeters off a factory. Now we move into an actual full-on positive ramp angle where I'm fully gas pedaled. And you can see like my tempo is really good because the release, the bottom of the turn is very easy for me. Now what I noticed down bottom here is watch my turns get wider here at the bottom, really wide across the hill, wide across the hill. The ski's not snapping around quite as quick as it was when I had less ramp angle. Here we are up top. You know, these top ones are tough to really judge a lot out of because my pace was so much different turn to turn. And quite honestly, I'm getting more and more tired as the day's going on, so I have less legs even as the ski's getting easier to ski. Comparison down bottom. See how much taller I can be over here? And that makes it so that I can get more pressure to the outside ski early because I'm able to stay longer through the outside leg. I'm getting less rebound out of the bottom of the turn, which makes getting pressure to the outside ski earlier easier. Okay, you can see pretty similar positions. There's a little more extension, comes a transition. Watch over here, right there. See how it's a little easier to get that pressure early in the turn, and that's because I'm not getting as much bite at the bottom of the turn. I really like this transition here. Now let's hear what I thought of that setup at the bottom of the run.
So this one I feel like is a good setup for like a GS ski. Like it's super good and powerful, but actually as far as me pulling slalom radius and being able to ratchet this down and ski this like a slalom ski, I think I would go back to the +2 mils and plate height. But this one would be good in GS because the ski's not hooking underneath as much, and I was definitely more able to like just go ripping into the next one. So they like the fall line more. And so I could see where this would actually be better in GS, which I'm very surprised by. I always went off of slalom is more toe high than GS, but actually doing this exercise on my slalom skis, I'm feeling the opposite. Obviously I'd have to test out on my GS skis before I'd make that call. But here for my slalom ski, I would probably go back to the +1 plate or +2 millimeters from factory into the toe. And we'll go home, we'll measure that, find out what it is and compare it.
Before I give you my conclusions on ramp angle, I'd like you to consider two things. One, hitting the like button. On a TV remote, it's up, over, boom, like, you don't even have to stop the video. And two, consider a donation to the channel. I know for a fact there's not another video out there that gives you this kind of information, so a little donation to the channel would really be appreciated. Now, my overall thoughts in ramp angle and setup are totally different after having gone through this exercise than what it was before. As an athlete, I had always thought that as I increased my lift under the toe, that I was getting more bite from the tip of the ski. And as I was raising toe height, as I would mash on the boot further forward, I was gonna get more bite out of the tip. That turns out not to be the case. And now my thinking is this, is that when this height is lower, your knee is actually closer to the ski. Okay, so the further forward your ramp angle goes, the closer your knee gets to the ski. The closer your knee gets to the ski, you drive the knee in, that tip's gonna bite up underneath it. As you increase your toe lift, you're taking your knee further away from the tip of the ski, and thus you actually have more room to drive to the tip to get that same bite as you would if your knee was closer to the tip. And I think it's as simple as that. So when you're out there trying to figure out your own setups, you're kind of looking at the balance between two things. One, the more forward lean you have, the more grip under the turn you're gonna have, the easier it is to control the skis, to control speed, and stay in a course. And then the other is, as you increase the toe lift, the easier it's gonna be to get earlier pressure in the turn, but you're not gonna have quite as much power coming across the bottom. So you're running a balance between how much grip do I have below the gate, which is extremely important, and how much speed you're gonna be able to take from turn to turn as you increase lift under the toe without losing control. I hope you found this helpful. I myself found this exercise extremely helpful, and I'm really psyched I got to do it. Look forward to more ski setup videos in the future, but until then, keep shredding out there.